Welcome to another edition of Competitive Edge. I'm your host, Montel Williams, and on today's show, we'll learn more about cryptocurrency and what the hype is all about. We'll also meet folks behind cutting-edge lighting design, and later, legendary hip-hop superstar Trina is going to join us to tell us how she gained her competitive edge. Let's get started. Well, thanks so much for joining us on this edition of Competitive Edge. Hey, I'm Montel Williams, and today we're talking to our guests who are business people and also people who are individuals, just to let us know what has been their competitive edge to help them be so successful. And today, we're talking to a motivational speaker, serial entrepreneur, and CEO of CoinHost.io, Mr. Meacham Matthews. Thank you so much, sir, for being a part of the show today. Let's talk a little bit about you. Tell me a little about your childhood. Where'd you grow up?
I was born in Amarillo, Texas, and I grew up all over the southern United States. I traveled quite a bit with family, and then I took off from home really young at 13. I say pretty young, and I never really looked back. I did come down to South Texas and stay with my mom for a little bit, and then I took back up to Seattle, and I've been all over ever since.
And traveling all over, you had for a little while, you're a young bloomer. I mean, you got into a sobriety issue or an abuse issue when you were younger too, right?
It took a massive hold on my energy, my soul, just everything about it. It turns out that, alcoholism's like this genetic disease, and I had been predisposed to it, and I probably should have never been exposed to alcohol and all that, and when I did, I took off down that route. I actually spent several years drinking and trying to get sober, and drinking and trying to get sober.
Were you going to school at that time?
Yeah, I did. I actually got dual credit through University of Austin, wound up getting a diploma. But yeah, I went that route. I went the GED route, and I went back to college. I went to community college multiple times, and just the formal education thing just really wasn't working out for me the way that I had planned it.
So somewhere along the way, you got interested in cryptocurrency. Explain, how did that happen?
Well, back in, I believe it was 2011, the United States shut down poker. There was no more online gambling. And that's when my pops had told me about poker being shut down in the United States. He asked me if there was some way that we could do it online. And I'd already heard about cryptocurrency, which was really in its burgeoning just then. And so we took something which at the time had no real rules, no governance, no anything. It's kind of like playing poker for Skittles, and built a website that got into that, and that really exposed me with the ins and outs of how cryptocurrency works and how do we transact with it and stuff like that.
And that's how you created or came up with the idea for CoinHost, right?
Yeah, really, the idea is I spent a lifetime in infrastructure as a service, which is essentially like real estate for the internet. The internet needs places for like servers and power and bandwidth and all the components that make up the computers that allow us to have the internet. And because I had experience with that, I knew that the number one problem that they had in that industry was chargebacks. And just having that knowledge of that and the knowledge of cryptocurrency where there's no ability to do a chargeback, there's no centralized authority, so there's no refunds in essence. This also eliminates fraud by adopting cryptocurrency and creating a way for systems to automatically give people their domains or their websites when they just send a little bit of cryptocurrency. That really created this whole niche to where we were able to create a whole number of services that are available to entrepreneurs.
You learned all this on your own. I mean, you did go to college a little bit, but you picked up all of this on your own.
I don't think that it was me or that it was on me. I think like anyone, we have so many choices in life, every day what we choose to do. And in my 30s, I made that list and said what I wanted to accomplish. And part of that was what we could do with cryptocurrency. We're supporting a technology that can provide a solution that's a win-win-win. Cryptocurrency gives the everyday person the ability to have control over information. The ability to send money internationally and things like that is an industry of its own. And I look at certain companies like payment transmitters, and they make hundreds of millions of dollars in fees to third world countries. And that just really put me in a place where I went, there's got to be a better solution. And just taking part in cryptocurrency allows you to be part of the solution. You know?
So you put together a pretty substantial business portfolio here by creating CoinHost, but you use some of what you gain by giving back, right? Giving back is a big part of your life. Talk to me a little bit about this. I guess you have a system where you make sure that you get to feed the homeless. How do you do this?
We do a $1 donation to the food bank. It's not much. It's $1 for every order that we get. But that one action allows me to know that everything I'm doing is much bigger than the business. When I realized that for $1 you can feed 7 people, that 7 meals is made from $1, it changed everything about the business model, everything that our employees represent and what we're getting out of bed for each and every day. And I think cryptocurrency in whole embodies that. We're looking for solutions to problems that had never been solved before. So when we look at things like global hunger or food security.
Are you planning on building a lot of other blockchain-based businesses?
Absolutely, yes, absolutely. We've built dozens of blockchain-based businesses in the past several years, from the crypto sports betting casino world all the way to financial literacy and education, into technology and data management, things like we're a web host, and one thing that happens to people who have websites is they get hacked or they get taken down, or information gets stolen from them. And cryptocurrency can actually solve that problem through some really simple signatures and checks to make sure that the data was what it said it was a few minutes ago.
Right. Well, now, this show is all about the competitive edge. What do you think has been your competitive edge to really be as successful as you are?
By just having a mission greater than the commission. That belief comes before it all. If I believe that the mission is greater, if I believe that I can make it happen, if I believe that if we get up out of bed today, someone might place an order and that's going to feed 7 people. If I believe it, what is it? You can achieve it. All right?
Absolutely. Goodness, thank you so much, sir, for being here.
Thank you.
Thanks for sharing with our audience, man. And we're going to take a little break. When we come back, we're going to be talking to some folks about lighting solutions. You'll want to hear this, okay? We'll take a little break. DJ Epps, why don't you take us out of here, my brother? Well, welcome back to the Competitive Edge. Thanks so much, DJ Epps. Yes, so sir, rocking the house. Look, well, thank you so much for joining us today. We're here at the Competitive Edge where we talk to individuals and businesses about what gives them their competitive edge to be so successful in business. And joining us right now are Melissa Mattis and Aaron Smith. Melissa is the Senior Lighting Designer and Sustainability Specialist for Sladen Feinstein. And Aaron, you are the VP of Technology and R&D for FineLight, right?
That's right.
Right, yeah.
Well, thank you. First off, let's start with you. Why don't you tell us about who is Sladen and Feinstein?
Sladen Feinstein is an architectural lighting design firm based in Boston, Massachusetts. So we get hired as a consultant to the architectural firms to do their lighting design and documentation for the projects that they're working on.
So you just do businesses, or do you do residential also?
We do both commercial and high-end residential in both interior and exterior environments.
Gotcha. Now, who is FineLight?
So FineLight, we're a commercial lighting manufacturer. We're based in Northern California, and we ship all over the USA and Canada. We build tailored lighting and sustainable lighting, and we have industry-leading warranties and lead times.
Now, how are the two of you connected?
So Sladen Feinstein chose FineLight to be part of their highest sustainability projects, including One Boston Place, in part because we have sustainability transparency information that we can provide their team.
That's right.
And that's really important for sustainability project because it lists all the elements that we use in our lighting.
Well, I mean, it seems obvious, but why is lighting so important?
Well, I mean, I'll speak to the design side of that. So as a lighting designer, our job is to celebrate the work of the architect with beautiful and energy efficient lighting. So we're sculpting and enhancing and really revealing the intention of the architect. one of our founding principles always says that nobody notices good lighting, but everybody notices bad lighting. I mean, and it's so true. I mean, the good lighting design really has to be considered an integral part of the design process from the beginning of the project, and not this late phase add-on that you kind of think of.
And that's interior and exterior.
Exactly, yep.
And Aaron, what's the fine light way?
So the fine light way is about striving to be better all the time, whether it's developing better products, improving our customer service, from installation to just shipping. We're always striving to be better. And we demonstrate that in a few different ways through the sustainability initiatives that we take on and adopt, through the research design approaches that we take and that we partner with folks like Slade & Feinstein to really learn what it is that they need in order to be successful and get the competitive edge in the market. That's where we take that information back and develop products that really make a difference.
And I guess that's been validated by the fact that both of your companies have received numerous awards, right?
We have, yeah. We've had 3 designers honored with the prestigious Lighting Magazine's 40 Under 40 Award, 1 on a national level and 2 on the international stage. And we've also had a slew of our projects recognized by a variety of organizations, including the Illuminating Engineering Society, the American Institute of Architects and its chapters, as well as local preservation awards as well. And although it's not an award, we were very honored to participate in a short documentary on sustainability in the built environment. And this is called The Time Is Now. It's on YouTube on Light Eye's channel, who produced the film. That's LYTEI.
Wow. And your company's received some awards also, right?
Yeah, we've also received an Illuminating Engineering Society Award from their Progress Committee for advancements in light and lighting. And we've been privileged to be part of award-winning projects from lighting designers around the country like Slade & Feinstein.
Well, then you both are working on additional partnerships, right?
We are, yes. I'd say one of the projects that we're most proud of is the Lighting Advocacy Letter. And this was inspired by other niche industries that came before us in the built environment, but it started as a personal letter from just our firm, Slade & Feinstein, written to manufacturers asking for greater transparency into the products that they produce that we specify. And this has really blossomed into a national advocacy letter where we now have over 70 design firms signed on to the letter. It's hosted on mindfulmaterials.com. So I would encourage the audience to pop online and check out some of the design firms that have signed on to this commitment. And if they happen to be working with an architectural team that does specify luminaires, ask them to become a signatory of the letter to show this commitment for their personal projects as well.
Wow. Now, I ask it all the time on the show. What gives your company the competitive edge?
Over 90% of our lighting has actually been verified and enrolled into the International Living Futures Institute's DECLARE program, which basically ensures that our fixtures are free of toxic materials and also helps designers like Melissa meet green building project requirements.
Yeah, they've really been leading the way.
Well, what gives Slade & Feinstein their competitive edge?
Well, I really think it's that we're taking a deeper look beyond just energy efficiency and looking past just operational carbon and comparing watts to watts on our projects and trying to get a more holistic view, incorporating the embodied carbon side of lighting as well. So we're taking this deeper, more innovative take to have a more accurate perspective.
Well, thanks so much for joining us today and illuminating our audience. We got to get out of here. So DJ Epps, why don't you take us out? Take us to a break, brother. Welcome back to the Competitive Edge. Look, my next guest is one of Billboard Magazine's 31 women who changed hip-hop. She's a rap icon and the star of VH1's Lovin' Hip Hop in Miami. Trina, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Look, tell me a little bit about your childhood. Where did you grow up? You grew up in Florida?
Miami, Florida, Liberty City.
Liberty City.
Born and raised in the county of Dade.
Come on now. Where'd you go to high school?
Miami Northwestern Senior High.
And you went to high school. When you got out of high school, you intended to get into an entirely different field of work, did you not?
When I got out of high school, I did real estate first. That was my first career choice. I actually got a job at a real estate company called ERA Homeland Realty. And I was working there for a good week. I got a chance to go show like a couple homes. I was really excited. I thought I was about to make a sale. And I got a call from my friend Trick, and then the whole thing shifted into music. So stop right
had
there.
you already been like a novice
No.
rapper? No?
No.
So, I mean, you just met somebody and they said, can you rap, girl?
Trick just felt like I could deliver a certain type of, power on the song. It wasn't really about the rapping, it was more so just about the delivery and just having that, powerful, stand your ground, be a boss woman, like, just be a bad chick energy. That's what I gave, and he knew I could deliver that.
I mean, I'm reading this, it says, you released an impressive 6 albums, right?
Yes.
XXL says you are the most consistent female rapper of all time. That's a lot to be said, girlfriend.
Yes, they did. I have been consistent. I have, and through my albums, the albums kind of came out every 2 years, but I do a lot of touring, performing at the States and all over, so it kind of kept me, going consistent.
Do you have a new project getting ready to come out now?
I do. I'm working on some new stuff right now, new project.
Is it titled?
No, I haven't titled it
Okay.
yet. I haven't. I'm thinking about it.
You already
That's kind
laid-
of like the last part, though. After I record the songs and I get into a vibe, I go back in the studio, I listen to them all over again, and then I go, I'm gonna name it this.
People were to go up online, they look around, and they'll come across this thing saying that you've been accused of being, of hypersexualizing women through your lyrics.
Okay.
All right, so I'm just throwing it out there.
Okay.
What do you say to those people who are your naysayers?
It's a form of free expression and just being true to who you are and being completely secure within your sensuality.
How about, let's say, if you look at the most searched thing on the internet, it is sex.
Exactly.
So therefore, you are doing nothing
I
but.
did not create it.
Correct, right?
I'm only just this form of expression. It's just a form of when you're in the studio creating music, we just talking about the lifestyle that you're in. It could be sexual, it could be, how you get money, how you're raised, how you're hustling, how you're surviving, whatever your goals in terms. I know when I'm in the studio, I record off of mood. So if I'm in a sad mood, I'm making a record that's probably melodic and a little bit more intense. If I'm in a party mood, that's the time I get to talk, and I go raw, unfiltered, and unapologetic. And that's how I create music. But I do plan to create more realistic right now in my life moment songs, I have to go in the studio and get into that vibe and that mood, and that's it just takes like a little work.
Trina, life has been, when you look at your history, girlfriend, life has been that roller coaster.
Yeah.
Up, down, up, down, up, down, mostly ups. I'm not saying a lot of downs, mostly ups. And this show is called A Competitive Edge. So if you had to look inside of yourself and say, when I was on those downslopes, relationships, downslopes, when I was on those downslopes in the business, when I had to change record companies, something inside of me was my competitive edge that said, you ain't got me. I'm gonna be who I'm gonna be and still rise to the top. What's your competitive edge?
Anything I do is always just trying to be better than it was before.
There's a saying that I have. Every night before I go to bed, I say, what did I do today that's worth talking about tomorrow?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of where you're at with that, right?
Yeah. What did I do today? That's what we're talking about tomorrow. Absolutely.
No, I gotta thank you so much for being here on the show. A lot of people look up to you, and much success, continued success, and keep knocking out. Let me ask you, what's it been like to be on a reality show for 4 years in a row? Aren't you getting tired of that? People all up in your business?
Well, I kind of control how I want to, record and film. The network is real crazy. The show is real, drama. But for me, for the most part, I kind of contain, my thing, because my whole platform is basically my business, trying to show my artists, trying to do things to get to the next level. And the way we're filming now is a little more personal. We film in pods, meaning you film with just the people you want to, like your family and friends. So get to show more you, a different side of you, everything that you're doing. And all season, I'm filming just me, growing business, summits, everything that I have to do that's elevating me. So that's basically what I'm filming.
Any new projects? Any new film projects, television projects coming out?
Yeah, I have a lot of new stuff that's
Oh my
coming
goodness,
out.
girlfriend.
I filmed a little part in a movie that's going to come out next year. I'm super excited about. Well, 2 movies I'm excited about. Some more television stuff that I'm filming. I'm just working every single day.
There you go.
Working every single day. to be better than I was yesterday.
I can't say thank you enough for being here and laying down some truth for people.
Yeah.
DJ Epps, I got to thank you, brother, for being here too, my friend. You know how you do us. And make sure you tune in to the next edition of Competitive Edge and watch them all, okay? Take us out of here, brother.